There are a few things that help dignify a human being. A good pair of socks is one, but a shower, just being clean is kind of key, right?
It is, yeah. We realize that showers can change your day, whether you're housed or unhoused. Getting into a shower and having that time to decompress with a door shut, nobody can talk to you, can change the course of your day. It can change your health in a lot of ways. Just we can really have a small impact on somebody's life, but that could have a huge impact rippling out. I always tell people, once I know somebody's underwear size, they're pretty much willing to tell me anything about their life.
That's my next pickup line. What's your underwear size? I like it. Welcome back to the What Podcast. I'm Barry. That's Brian. That's Russ. Russ with the lake behind. Is that real? That's not a green screen.
This is not a green screen. I'm really here. Yeah.
Where are you exactly?
Spending the weekend. We'll say it's a lake in Georgia, about an hour north of Atlanta. I don't think they want to spoil the location because they're tired of people moving here.
Based on the views, I would guess they don't. Yes.
Yeah. So
the water's poisonous. Don't go there.
Lake Allatoona. Go to Lake Allatoona. There you go.
There you go.
But yeah, no, this is beautiful. We're here for the weekend. Drove the bus down, and so yeah, happy to hop on with you guys today.
Yeah, well, this is sort of the first time we've been together in a couple of weeks. Russ, you and I were in Atlanta last weekend for Shaky Knees. We did an episode kind of recapping our visit to Shaky Knees and a little bit of our visit to the IBMA World of Bluegrass. But Brian, you actually spent the rest of the last weekend doing more of that festival while Russ and I were down in Atlanta.
We had to split up.
I drew the short straw. I had to go to the Bluegrass Festival. That's not true at all. I could have done both, actually. I could have easily done both. It just got to be a busy week, and I was fine with doing just our local festival, and it was a lot of fun. You guys saw last week on the little red carpet thing we did, which was, I mean, just to be a geek was just
amazing, right?
Just a really neat thing, right? Like I've never done anything like that, and it was just fun, if nothing else. And the whole week was done really well here in Chattanooga. There's certainly warts and issues and first year event problems to work out, but I did not have any real FOMO. The Beaches were playing on Saturday, and Cage the Elephant.
The Beaches.
And I didn't. Yes, I wanted to go. Especially in my younger days, I spent a lot of time in Atlanta. That's part of why I don't mind as much now, as I'm kind of tired of going to the big city. But I didn't have the FOMO I thought I was going to have, so it was fun to be on assignment at the Bluegrass World of Bluegrass event here in Chattanooga.
One of the things, and I say this a lot, Brian does his own podcast, Stone on Air. You kind of did a recap, but one of the things you talked about was seating, festival seating, VIP, GA plus, that sort of thing.
And just the various kinds of admission, yes.
And I wanted to just a quick hit on that because it's a festival thing related to any festival.
Yeah.
We had a conversation. We ran into David Champion, friend of the show, been on the show a couple of times. He and his wife did VIP. And we sort of had a quick conversation. They were like,
For Shaky Knees you're talking about?
For Shaky Knees.
Yeah,
they did VIP. I wasn't sure whether it was worth it or not. They got, free beer, free water, and got up close. But Russ, we could have gotten as close as they did. That's one of the things I liked about that venue.
Well,
right?
Yeah, I've done VIP. That's pretty much it. You get, complimentary beverages. There's a VIP section. There didn't seem to be as much for VIP this year, just from outside looking in.
Right. And
you could have gotten as close as you want, pretty much.
Contrast that, Brian, with what you mentioned at the festival, IBMA. They did sounded like what Bonnaroo did a couple of years ago, where they sectioned off this huge piece of property for VIP that nobody got in. Right, and they created this awkward space, and that's that's my point.
We'll throw up a couple of pictures that aren't the best shots ever, but they'll give you an idea of kind of the seating setup. I think there's two angles to it here with the IBMA. Is that it's a different kind of crowd, it's a different kind of audience, and I think some seating, like actual sit down in chairs, is what they're used to at that festival. It was in Raleigh for years, and it was at an amphitheater that had the built-in seats down below, so the lawn behind the traditional style amphitheater. Almost feels like they tried to recreate that, but what happened here specifically was in our park, smaller park that we put it in. They pretty much made the entire section, like the section that everybody wants to go, as the GA plus, as they called it. I think they're just using the wrong terminology of what they want to call it, but call it whatever you want. Call it, grade A seats, best seats ever, whatever you want to call it, platinum, premium, whatever you want to call it. And it just caused a lot of confusion. People didn't know, people who had it weren't sure exactly what it was, and then they did, and then they got mad when people they thought didn't have it infringed on their space. Then the people who thought they were just here to see a festival in a lawn couldn't get up close, and you got a band like the Wood Brothers, which are not bluegrass, or actually the rockinest act they're going to have all weekend. I enjoyed the show immensely on a Friday night, but there was hundreds to thousands of people on the outside looking into the main festival area, and they couldn't get in there. It caused a lot of confusion, and I hope that here for this specific festival they work around it. But Bonnaroo, you just mentioned it, Barry, had the exact same thing 2 years ago with the Platinum situation, and they immediately realized quickly that didn't work. And they pivoted and changed. That Bonnaroo is the best in the world at that. Here, our Chattanooga people are not the best in the world at that. They're not the best in the state at that, maybe even in the county. So
that's really why I brought it up, is because it's an issue that a lot of festivals deal with. You want to do the right thing. You want to be able to sell those VIP. Some people want that. They want a chair. They want to be able to get up close.
And you can certainly do that.
Correct. But it's that balance. That's my point.
You can do that. And in this case, they just took the entire best area and gave it all to the premium. But it was not specific or understood as to what this was. So hopefully they'll change that logistics next year. I bet you they do.
I'm sure that they will. But I mean, really, the point is, it not only it created confusion, as you've said, but it didn't benefit the VIP people, and it definitely didn't benefit the general the GA people. And it made it awkward for the band. And
it didn't benefit the band.
Yeah,
it didn't benefit anybody.
Yeah,
and so. Yeah, VIP people want to see a show, but they want to see it in a different perspective. They don't want to be in the middle of everything. They don't want to be with the unwashed GA savages, as our guy Brad Steiner would once call everybody, which is unfair, but we get the point. They don't want to be in that, so do give them their luxurious space. I think it's great.
I think it was you, Russ, who you got into that VIP, that ginormous VIP thing in Bonnaroo. I don't remember if it was you or somebody else who said it created this awkward, like you were standing there and everyone's staring
looking
at you. Yeah, like who's the asshole?
Yeah, because it's a completely empty space and you're standing right there. Yeah, you just feel like everyone's got eyes on you, just judging you.
Look at that guy with his half acre.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the experience I had.
I could have laid down, with as much space as I had.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the experience I had in 24 for the beaches right before Chapel Roan. Now, Chapel Roan's about to take place. This is at this tent, which is right next to the Witch. And so most people were getting, Chapel was just, as everybody remembers, that was the hottest act of the year. And so it was a light crowd for the beaches. And they even mentioned, we're going to hurry up and get done because we want to see Chapel too.
Yeah.
And I'm on the rail of Platinum. And because the attendance was lower than they would have probably gotten because of the hysteria just around the corner, it was glaringly noticeable of I'm as close as I can get and I'm still so far away.
Right.
And there's hardly anybody in this Platinum. But then you wonder about from the organizer from one day to the next, especially with a new event like here. Do you change on the fly? Do you pivot on the fly? Do you say, you know what, this isn't working? You know what, we're going to forget this, open it up, y'all all come down.
Good point.
Well, now you're undermining the people who paid for that.
Yeah,
Right.
you might upset the people that actually paid all that money for it.
And
Yeah.
those people would not be wrong to be irritated by that. So it's like it's needless confusion and complication that has just infiltrated the festival, the concert buying experience all the way around. From the 4 pre-sales to buy a Neil deGrasse Tyson, speak at the planetarium, to the biggest festival in the world. I understand why they do it, and they're never going to stop. This is what it is.
No.
It's just trying to, and Bonnaroo listens. I hope all festivals listens as well as C3 and Live Nation for all the shit they get. They listen, and Bonnaroo's done a good job with that. And I just hope other smaller festivals will also listen and realize that sometimes you're making bigger problems than you think you are helping anyway. But all that to say, first year event, overall grade, we had as perfect. I'm assuming it was nice weather down there for you guys in Atlanta as it was here.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
Beautiful.
Beautiful weekend and week with all the weeks. We had star power down here in Chattanooga. We won't get a better lineup of people. I wouldn't think.
I've talked to people all week. I'm like, who do you get next year?
How do you do this again? Because Billy Strings isn't going to give you 4 days next year. The guy's not going to do this every year. So wonderful.
And I did
start.
find out that was coincidence. He had booked the Signal. I mean, they knew, but that was not. I mean, that was just dumb luck for Chattanooga.
Yeah,
He booked
that Billy Strings happened to be in town, and but then him sticking around all the way almost to the weekend, just as cool as Billy Strings is the coolest guy in the world.
Yep.
I mean, it appears that that's probably true. So,
And the other coolest guy in the world, Steve Martin, also here last week. So you need good luck topping those. And kudos to the 3 of us for not getting COVID. Since apparently everyone else, Steve Martin left here with COVID, and
That's what I hear.
Martin Short was patient 0. He's the one who shared that with his buddy. So
they had to cancel some of their comedy shows that they do because of it. So apparently there was a variant, if you will, around here. But no,
It wasn't COVID, but I caught the crud big time. I was
you did.
coughing and stopped up all week. I'm finally sort of getting over it. So
well, get ready for it again in Cave Fest in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Yeah.
Probably have some of that ragweed in the air.
So real quick, two funny lines from Steve Martin. I don't think we talked about this, Russ. He said several times from the podium that it was going to be only mandolins in the building. That was a pretty good line.
Only murderers in the building.
Only murderers, only mandolins,
that,
right? Yeah. And he just turned 80. And he said, I'm 80, and Allison, I think I'm telling this right, Allison Brown said, you look 65. And he said, that's not good either.
Yeah, he said, I feel 65, and that's also not good.
That's right. I forgot about that line.
Yeah.
I forgot about that line.
Anyways.
Well, Steve Martin looked 65 in The Jerk.
He looked 65 when he was 20. That's he and Alice Cooper. Yeah, people always say, how did Alice look? He looks old. And I said, he's looked old since he was 20 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah,
it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
My earliest memory of Steve Martin is the seeing his name in the phone book.
Yeah.
I'm finally somebody.
I'm finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing to be able to see him. I grew up. I could go all 3 of his albums. Put it on right now. Drop the needle, and I can go line for line.
Well, I'm a big Saturday Night Live guy. Not as much now, but certainly from the '90s.
Yeah.
And I could even appreciate the older stuff, even though Saturday Night Live is such the perfect example of a generational show. But so I didn't get everybody from those older days. But boy, it's hard not to love Steve Martin, and to be able to just stand, 2 feet away from the guy was pretty darn cool.
Yeah,
so
it was really cool.
100%.
Really fun week, and can't wait for, we're just bluegrassing it up around here. We got another festival coming up here in town, and then we'll all be at K-Fest in a couple weeks too, which that one's an easy one. That's super easy for us.
All right, what other news?
Might as well talk for a moment before we get to our guest, Meredith from Shower the People, that Coachella I mean, I didn't do research on it to find out, but this has got to be the earliest that they've
This
dropped.
is the earliest. It is.
And not even just by like a week or two, like a couple of months. I would say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
April of 26 is when Coachella takes place, and then it's already sold out. So
Wow.
Coachella's not having trouble. That's for sure.
Wow. Nice.
A lot of festivals around might be, but does that mean anything for to the ethos of the current festival lineup drop, information drop, ticket pricing drop? Does that mean anything to Bonnaroo? Does that change how things happen?
I would say specific to Bonnaroo, there's always a little bit of crossover you will see from one lineup to the next. Not a ton. So I don't know how much you could infer from Coachella, how much would be at Bonnaroo.
I also just wonder, will Bonnaroo think that they need to be quicker to the punch to get it out there?
That's a good question too, yeah.
Let me ask it this way, because I've heard a lot of the socials, and how important is this Bonnaroo lineup especially in relation to what you're just talking about? Does it need to be similar, or does it need to be so completely different than anything else that, you know what I mean?
It's a good question, because that's become such a thing in just the last few years. Like that is it. There's always been crossover, but it just really feels like that's happening a lot. But one of y'all just said is that Coachella and Bonnaroo never have a ton of crossover. What is popping in California like this moment is not the same thing east of the Mississippi.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, they got Justin Bieber. Do we want Justin Bieber at Bonnaroo? Is that?
I don't know.
I think there's a lot of people.
I don't.
Maybe. Yeah.
Who is it? Was it Stagecoach that got Ed Sheeran and Garth Brooks? I think, yeah.
I don't know, but there's also
Maybe,
a lot.
yeah.
There's a bunch of. It does feel like there's a lot of early announcements for 2026 events and festivals. Yeah. A couple of these cruises are already starting to be booked. Big Ears here, by
Summerfest.
the way. Barry, I know Big Ears is something you had your eye on a little bit, because it's so top heavy. That's in Knoxville. That is AC, right?
Ashley Caps.
Ashley
That's
Caps.
his baby.
Ashley Caps.
That's his baby. Everyone knows that's his baby.
That was his the other thing.
Right.
I do Bonnaroo, and then Big Ears over here, and it's got David Byrne.
Yep.
And is it Robert Plant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Summerfest,
wowzers.
not Stagecoach. Summerfest has Ed Sheeran and Garth. But yeah, the Big Ears, which is a completely, I always hate using the words, avant-garde. I mean, it's almost then
Dave Byrne was going to work just fine there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that fits right in.
Yeah, he's probably not going to be doing Talking Heads stuff.
Yeah, he might make sure and not play a damn one of them.
I know, but that's cool. Yeah, I'm definitely interested. I saw that lineup, so anyway, I'm very curious to see what Bonnaroo does. Along those lines, I did ran into some of the big cheeses, if you will, at Shaky Knees, and asked about Brad Parker's replacement, and she has been named. I don't remember her name.
Shelly something.
She not ready to
Shelby,
come on.
I'm sorry.
Shelby, I think you're right. Yep.
Yeah.
She will be a guest on the show at some point, but not soon. She's not Brad Parker. She's not the...
Nobody is.
Yeah, I was told, let's give her a while to get her feet underneath her. She's not the media savant that Brad Parker.
She'll work her way into it. She'll have to.
I think that's fair. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She'll work her way into it. But Brad Parker has never seen a microphone or camera that he couldn't wait to get behind. Now, he might not share any of it, and he might not comment, and he might not act like he likes you all that much.
Yeah.
But boy, he can't wait to be on your camera and your microphone.
He's good at it. But Corey will. We'll get Corey on.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, Corey's still around.
He's a rare breed, Brad Parker, and I wish him the best in everything he's going to do. But I enjoyed sparring with him a little bit. That was
he's a lot of fun, and he loved it too. So
I know he did.
But anyway, so obviously we'll pay attention to the lineup.
I just wonder, because we're so used to now early January on lineup drop. Does that turn into December, right? Like, I mean, this is a big transitional year for Bonnaroo, whether we're all acknowledging it or not. It really is in a lot of ways. Do they decide maybe we should get a little buzz going before the new year? Maybe we should get this before Christmas.
Yeah, we have a new director. She may have different ideas of how to execute this thing. So we really don't know. We can't really rely on what they've done in the past because now we're looking at the future.
And we also know, I mean, I know enough that there is push from the suits for cost control.
Yes.
Like this is a we're going to do this, but we cost is a bigger concern than ever.
Yeah, there is a budget. There is a budget. Yeah.
You're going to see things. There's going to be things scaled back. This is going to have a Doge. Sorry to go there. Kind of approach to it. I don't mean to be so negative connotation with the terminology, but just so you understand, there's going to be a lot of that, and that doesn't mean that anything's ruined.
No.
It just means it's going to be that much more difficult.
And I think they're also a lot more upfront about what they are scaling back on. You know,
so
Corey
far,
mentioned that on our show. Yeah, that they don't want anyone to show up and be surprised. Like, wait a minute, we don't have this or that.
Yeah.
So they're going to keep us informed. They're going to communicate as they plan and
or we'll
change
beat her into a corner until she tells us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
But they also realize that there is a finite, people's dollars are finite. You know, that's part of why probably Coachella reaches out and you don't want to wait. You don't want to be the last festival announcing your lineup selling tickets. You know, like if I can only go to 2, you know, I'm going to choose between this one and that one. And so that's part of the equation as well. So
one thing that will not be scaled down, it doesn't look like, is Planet Roo, which is expanded as we saw this year with a huge tent, lots of new stuff, and one of them that we're going to talk about here in a minute with Meredith, right?
Yeah, Meredith is co-executive of Shower the People. They are a Nashville-based charitable organization that provides showers as well as underwear, laundry service, all kinds of things for homeless people. They have become part of the Bonnaroo Planet Roo experience, and you'll figure out. It always has fascinated me the ties that have the charitable things that Bonnaroo does that a lot of people don't see unless you're there, that go beyond the music. You know, we talk a lot about the music, we talk a lot about the camping, we talk a lot about our own experiences, but Bonnaroo raises a lot of money, does a lot of good things. And so I'm kind of glad to shine a light.
They really do. We've always known this. Planet Roo's been there since day one, I'm pretty sure, or at least year 2, 1, pretty much. And really and you'll hear it from Meredith here as we get into it. There's a version of, you know, you're always trying to spread the message of Bonnaroo and how to get people to want to come to this very niche, eclectic, different, difficult place. And that's even one of the ways to do it. You get more people involved, more different organizations involved, and then they're like, "Whoa, wait, huh?
Yeah, you do what?
What is this? This is awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I do this more? You know, and like that, even that helps the radiate positivity vibe. It helps the whole ecosystem of the whole thing, from the charitable ventures to the festival itself. So I don't know if they sit around and make that as a specific plan, but I would guess it factors in.
And quite simply, it's a way to radiate positively year round. And we talk about that with Meredith. So here we go. This is our interview with Meredith from Shower the People, which, by the way, I'm really surprised they got that name. I would have figured that would have been exactly right. I would have figured that have been scooped up by somebody, and it's perfect.
Or James Taylor. You think he'd come after him?
Exactly.
Legally?
Yeah.
James Taylor's chill. He's a radiate positivity guy.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Here's Meredith. There she is, Meredith MacLeod Jaulin. Did I say that right?
You did. You got it perfect.
I'll never do it again. You'll probably be Mike before the end of the day. Who
You know,
knows?
I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
Thank you so much for joining us. Let's start right at the beginning. And I was thinking about this early because everybody has sort of a Bonnaroo origin story. Tell us your origin story.
So I heard about Bonnaroo when I was in high school. I had friends who went to Bonnaroo. I thought they were crazy to go camp at a festival and hang out for a weekend, and
They
then
were.
they were,
Yeah, they were.
especially in the
A good
early
kind.
2000s. They were, and they're still my best friends. So, but I kind of just wrote it off as it wasn't my vibe, and then 2020, we Shower the People got a grant from Bonnaroo and were invited to come and be a part of Planet Roo. We obviously didn't make it into the farm until 2020 or 2022. And then I fell in love with not only the farm, but the people that were working behind the scenes that were like our liaisons, and just the feeling of like love on the farm. I think actually after 2022, things were like so heavy in our world that being on the farm, you were like, oh my God, I can just say I love you to random people and they're going to be like, I love you too.
Yeah, and it's not
that
weird.
was-
It's not
It's
weird,
not
right?
weird. It's not weird. And so just like have that.
It shouldn't be
warm
weird
place.
anyway, honestly. It should be that way everywhere, not just Bonnaroo.
Yeah,
Yep.
no. And that kind of like has drawn us and kept us on the farm. We hold our fingers every year that we're going to be invited back to Planet Roo, but also having our own wristbands to be able to go either way. Because it is now a part of like my origin story is being on the farm. It's just so special. If you haven't been, you can't describe the energy that you feel as soon as you step out of your car on the farm and being like, I'm finally here. I can be joyful for 5 days or whatever it is, which is just so unheard of.
If I could ask you to give us for context,
Yep.
the circa era of your high school years that you first heard of Bonnaroo, just so we know where that first hearing of the festival was. So what time frame are we talking about?
2006.
Okay, so pretty
Yeah.
early on. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was a while before you got around to giving the crazy people an idea or try of what this idea was.
It was, yeah. No, I am not a camping girly. When we go to the farm now, I have an RV because 2022 we camped and it was 1,000,000 degrees. And I said, I'm almost 40. I don't need to be doing that. So
Good for you.
I now have gone with adult money to have the time that I can have to enjoy Bonnaroo to its fullest.
I like it.
Well, that's where you missed out on the early years where you could rough it and not know any better. But
Yeah.
Yes.
you started when you already knew better, so you were actually ahead of the game there.
Yeah.
Guys, we've been defining this wrong the whole time. There's high school money, there's college money, and then there's adult money. That's how we needed to start
Yeah,
defining.
When do we get the adult money?
I know, right?
Not a huge difference in some of those eras.
You kind of jumped right over what Shower the People or the event, what you guys actually do, right? Did I understand you had been doing that? You'd been part of that before 2020?
Yeah. So I am one of the co-founders of the organization. We have a shower bus. We'd seen kind of all of the schooly life. My co-founder has dreadlocks down to the floor, so he is obviously very familiar with the festival scene and had seen what people have done with school buses. So we turned a school bus into a shower facility and drive around Nashville giving showers to people experiencing homelessness. We started that in 2017 and had been trying to work our way to the farm. We knew that Bonnaroo people would really understand what we were doing and how we were just trying to lead with love in the work that we were doing. So it just took us a couple years to finally get to the farm. But yeah.
Let's not to gloss over, and I've been kind of, lighthearted up until this, but there are a few things that help dignify a human being that people don't understand. A good pair of socks is one, but a shower, just being clean is kind of key, right? I assume that's what you guys are all based on.
It is, yeah. We realize that showers can change your day, whether you're housed or unhoused. Getting into a shower and having that time to decompress with a door shut, nobody can talk to you, can change the course of your day. It can change your health in a lot of ways. Just, I have had doctors be like, hey, you know what, just go get in the shower. You'll feel better after your shower, and then tell us how you're feeling. And that kind of resonated with me and my team of, we can really have a small impact on somebody's life, but that could have a huge impact rippling out. And so that's what we do. We give showers to folks. We also have laundry facilities. So we do laundry for the folks that are utilizing our shower, because showers and clean clothes can make the difference between being welcome in a restaurant and not. So that's kind of where we start.
My mother, who just turned, or she'll turn 92 on Tuesday, spent several weeks in the hospital a couple of years ago. And my next door neighbor, who's a hospice nurse, volunteered, God bless her, to go to her house and wash my mother's hair. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it literally changed my mother's attitude. It was amazing, just being clean. So I get it. I get what you're saying. Not to mention, I mean, we laughed about it again. Taking that shower at 3 a.m. at Bonnaroo and then going to bed is amazing. So again, a shower is a pretty incredible thing. So good for you guys.
Thank you.
Meredith, you said you did I hear you right? 2017 is when the Shower the People organization, you either came together or you came on, and correct me on which one, on that, and what led you to that mission?
2017 is when we were founded. I came on full time July of 2017. The bus was still a school bus with seats in it when we started.
Let me stop. We need to get, what's his name?
Russ Arnold.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. He should get credit.
Yeah. Russ and I kind of got together. We figured out that at the time there were only 15 shower stalls, all of them total, available to people in Nashville. And there were about 2,500 people experiencing homelessness. So there was a huge need, not enough support. And we realized it's a small thing that we could do to make a big impact. I am a licensed clinical social worker, so I got my master's in social work and knew if I can just get people to trust me, I can help connect them to the resources and be that trusted person for them. But you got to earn their trust before you can do all the work that you want to do. So being able to start with a shower is huge. I always tell people, once I know somebody's underwear size, they're pretty much willing to tell me anything about their life. So it's a really, really good opening line of like, hey, get in the shower, and then what else can we help you with?
That's a good that's my next pickup line. What's your underwear size? I like it. Well, and do you have adult money? Man, I'm learning a lot.
Well, speaking of that bus and the borderline obsession that people on this show and other friends of ours and other podcasters in the Bonnaroo space, our friends Rubus, I'm referencing. The 1990 International bus. We're now in an era where 1990 is quite vintage. Yeah. And it's the classic school bus. Think of the school bus that pops in your head. That's the one. What kind of a challenge was it to get an old relic like that to be a portable showering facility of sorts and mobile resource that you guys have?
It is a challenge. I think like most of us that were born before 1990, it is hard sometimes for it to get running in the mornings. But it
Me too.
was, yeah, exactly. We worked with an engineering company. One of the biggest feats we had was concern about when we're driving, the shifting of the water weight and how that could easily topple the school bus, because we have at points in time 600 gallons of water.
And they're quite top heavy. That's just sitting there by themselves, you know?
Yeah. So we worked with some engineering folks, different plumbing organizations, welders. It took about a year for us to finally get the bus from having seats in it to being able to provide showers. It actually came to Bonnaroo in 2024. It was that white bus that was parked right by the Jamtrack station right out front. That people were spray painting. That was our shower bus. So it is actually now been painted by the great folks of Bonnaroo. So we have a piece of Bonnaroo on the bus that goes with us everywhere because it was painted by the Bonnaroovians.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it completely, it's 100% self-contained? You can take the shower. You don't need hookups. In other words, whenever you go somewhere, you don't, it is its own
It
shower
is, yeah.
facility. Okay,
So
cool.
we do have the ability to hook up and dump water, so we can do endless numbers of showers. We can actually hook up to the hydrant system. But if
Nice.
we're just driving around, we can do 14 showers without having to ever hook up or dump water or anything.
Wow, that's really
Yeah.
cool.
And we'll talk a little more Bonnaroo stuff here, but I am curious about just how this how Shower the People works, and we'll talk about Planet Roo too. For people that want to use this, I wrote this down, and I'm sorry if I'm getting stuck on semantics. It was just in the email sent from Jimmy, one of your board members.
Mm-hmm.
But the wording in it, I mean, he could have just been banging out the email and not even thinking about the way it was. But it said mobile shower and laundry services in Nashville to help people experiencing homelessness.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean to you, or how do you guys define experiencing homelessness? And what is the process for somebody who might think they don't even know what qualifies as experiencing homelessness? Is there a database of sorts? Do they is there a sign-up sheet? They just first come, first serve? How does that process work? And how is it defined, experiencing homelessness?
So it's self-reported. I always tell somebody, if where they're showering or have access to a shower now is worse than what my shower bus is, they are welcome to take a shower.
Okay.
The only thing that we ask is that they give us a name, and it's the same name every time they give it to us. So whether it's their government name, their street name, some name they just decided to call themselves that day, every time they shower with us that year, just to use the same name. We have a gentleman who, like a year and a half ago, told me his name was Spy Balloon. And so he still signs in every week as Spy Balloon. I know that's not his real name, but it's just proving my point of, like, I don't care what it is, just something so I know and you know that it's your turn to get in the shower. We have intentionally been as absolutely low barrier as possible to utilize our service. Our folks are so used to having to tell their entire life story to get a meal or prove that they don't make any money.
Yeah.
I don't need all of that. If you think you need to shower, okay, here's the shower. Here's underwear for you to wear. Whatever it is, we're going to just help.
Just a quick commentary to that. I just popped into my head growing up. There was like in the late 90s, early 90s, there was this big push of, I don't know, the news magazine saying that whether people on the street who were begging were doing it was a scam or something, right? Like there was some kind of ring of people trying to get,
Right.
and I bought into that a little bit, being a kid and didn't know, and hearing people talk about it. My mom's always said, this is just absolute nonsense.
Yeah, nobody chooses.
No one's doing this on purpose. No one's trying to get one over on you. Kind of the things we have to deal with a lot these days have always been around. So the idea that you guys leave it open to basically anybody with a low barrier of entry is a really nice thought, because there have been times when I feel like that was more difficult than it need to be. That was just a commentary by me. I'm sorry.
Meredith, do you go to same places on the regular, or do you guys move around? How does that work? Are you church parking lots, I'm assuming, or whatever?
Yeah.
Do you have regular stops?
Yeah, we have a weekly schedule. It changes twice a year. So it changes like summertime when it's a little bit warmer, people are out a little bit later. And then in winter, a lot of our folks utilize some of the church-based partners where they can sleep in like their sanctuary. So we'll do showers with those partners, so that way their folks are able to shower. But it's a weekly schedule, changes every 6 months, but there are regular shower services that our folks can depend on. We have one that we've been at for 6 years, so we know the place that we're at, we know the people that are coming, we know the neighbors that are around are used to us being there, which is a huge problem sometimes. So we try to be as reliable as we can, because that's how folks are going to learn about us. Posting on Instagram that we switched our shower service is not really going to be helpful to the folks that need to use our shower service. So we just try to be there when we say we're going to be there and be dependable on that.
And how are you funded?
We are all privately grant funded. So either by individual contributions or private foundations, like corporate foundations or like Bonnaroo works.
I had the same question. So how do you, if you were to seek some government funding, is that something that at any point of eras of our lives could have been something you guys would consider doing? Or I don't know enough about how seeking funding and grants works for nonprofits, so forgive my ignorance on the question.
Yeah. So if we were to seek grant funding from like a government, state, local, federal, the problem is they require so much demographic reporting that we would have to change
A lot of red tape, shocking.
Exactly. That we would have to change the entry process for the way that our folks could utilize our program. And it just, for us, it doesn't balance out being able to be accessible to our folks to get money for the government that could possibly be gone tomorrow. So we would much rather find those corporations and those people that believe in the mission and the work that we're doing and create those strong partnerships with them that are going to be much less politically based.
Well, along those lines, if somebody may be listening to this show, maybe that wants to donate, is there a way to do that online? Can you shout that out?
Yeah, our website, showerthepeople.net, super easy. We also have a Venmo. We're Shower the People everywhere on social. So we're pretty easy to find. My email is meredith@showerthepeople.net. Folks are welcome to email me, whether it's that they have supplies that they want to donate, towels that they're going to get rid of that we can tie-dye for them. Whatever it may be, we are always looking for support in the community.
There you go. So it's not just money, it's donations, it's supplies, it's stuff that you need to help make this run. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Good
absolutely.
to know.
Which seems like a natural jump into the Bonnaroo. What's the relationship? I mean, what's the relationship and how does that work?
Yeah, so we are partnered with Bonnaroo through Bonnaroo Works, Planet Roo, the incredible Kelsey DeWald and Alex Thomason. They are incredible ladies, but they funded us through grant funding, which meant we got an offer to come to be a part of Planet Roo in 2022. We have some awesome partnerships with Airbnbs where they give us, and like hotels, where they give us their towels that have been like ruined by mascara or whatever else. And then we bring all those towels to Bonnaroo and have them tie-dyed. Once they're tie-dyed, it doesn't matter if they have a mascara stain or a little hole. And so that's what we use on our bus. It just feels a little bit better when you hand it to somebody to be like, it's pretty now. So we have a booth set up. Exactly. We have a booth set up in Planet Roo. And we invite folks to come and tie-dye the towels for us. And then we take those towels back and put them on our bus for the year. This year we started kind of allowing folks to purchase those towels kind of as a memory of Bonnaroo. We were selling them super cheap, so that was really good for some of those folks that maybe don't have adult money to be able to get something at Bonnaroo. So that was kind of how we've worked it, but we've also been able to bring the bus down and get it painted like I mentioned earlier. I've been a part of the academy and the house stage, kind of talking about different stuff. Honestly, anything Bonnaroo wants me to do, I'm happy to do at this point, just so that way they will continue to invite us to be a part of the farm.
Hey, that's our philosophy too.
That's how we do it.
Whatever they want. Yeah, anything you want, just tell me what I'm doing and how many wristbands I can have.
Back.
Yes. And then this past year, or 2024, we were able to go down through the campgrounds after the first group goes through that does their like consignment sale. We were able to go and grab all those like remaining tarps and things like that, like the half drank cases of water. We're going to take those to our folks. So we were able to take, I think it was like almost 400 tarps and like cases of water and things from the campgrounds and take them to the folks that we serve here in Nashville, which is really cool.
Nice.
Well, you stole real quick, Barry. Go ahead. You stole one of my my areas I wanted to go because the gear closet is down here in Chattanooga. And I'm sure there's others that do portions of or versions of this, but that sell the leftover stuff. And I was going to ask you are you on the picking ladder of when you get to go in and get what's? I assume there's probably contracts with Gear Closet in capitalistic America. We got to sell, but you guys get to come in probably right behind them, it sounds like.
I do. So Gear Closet actually does a lot of the hard work for us. They go through everything, figure out what they can set, and then they set aside a pile of like tarps and stuff for us. So that way we're also not having to duplicate efforts. So we get second pick after them. So whatever is not going to necessarily sell or they have too much to sell, we get all of that stuff, which is amazing.
What I was going to ask is what else? So it's not just showers. So you have showers, underwear you've mentioned. towels, tarps,
Laundry services.
waters, laundry service. So what other things do you guys provide for the community?
Pretty much anything, honestly. We develop such strong relationships with our folks that once they move into housing, we're going to help them get their pots and pans. And when you tell people you take clothing donations, not only do they bring you their clothing donations, they bring you every item that they've ever wanted to donate from their house. So we get a random collection and be able to pass those items off, or donate them to another organization that gives us gift cards for our folks to shop in their store. So we really try to help our folks in any way. And we've developed really deep partnerships with other grassroots nonprofits, some of which we've met at Bonnaroo, and help resource those folks, but not just like, hey, call this person. It's like, hey, I've already called my friend who runs this nonprofit. They're waiting on your call. This is what they're going to do for you. We've realized those warm handoffs are going to be so much more successful than handing a folks 7 pages of phone numbers and being like, someone on there will help you. Have a good time. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, Meredith, when there's a disaster, and I'm speaking mostly to like hurricanes and stuff that we would deal with down here in the South, a lot of times there's drives for whatever is needed, and many times because people don't know exactly what they just want to get help, and sometimes it's just get rid of the stuff they don't want. And there are actual warnings or suggestions that say, hey, not so much of this. A little bit more of this, and I can't think of good examples, but bottled water would always be the winner here, but maybe not your your winter coat, or whatever. Is there anything you don't need, like that somebody might want to bring you that you might turn into a dumping ground? Is there anything that, or it sounds like there's almost everything that you can utilize a lot here is kind of my point and question.
Yeah, we can utilize a lot. I'll make kind of a PSA for all nonprofits that take used things. Nobody wants your used socks and nobody wants your used underwear. The number of people that donate both of those, nobody wants them. I don't want to go through them. My staff doesn't want to go through them. Yeah. That kind of stuff, just put it in the trash can.
Mattresses, couches, that seems like that's one of those that people like, oh, I know how I can get rid of this out of the basement.
And I'm helping people.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not, right? No.
Yeah. All that kind of stuff where you're like, if you wouldn't give it to your friend, no, we don't necessarily need it. So stains, torn, all that kind of stuff. I'm not reusing this for scraps. I'm trying to provide dignity for somebody. So if it's not going to be a dignified gift to give to somebody, I don't necessarily need it.
That's good. I like dignified. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Biggest things that we always are needing is men's medium and large boxer briefs and deodorant. Those are things that go the fastest. They are donated the least. They're not fun to shop for. So people don't really want to donate them. And they're not things that we can use. So.
Yeah. When you have to be intentional and deliberate about that to have extra of those items. So that would be a good call out to somebody who just wants to help and not just unload their stuff on you.
Right. Yeah.
So you joked earlier about, you wanted to go to Bonnaroo, but Bonnaroo is a good fit for what you guys do, right? I mean, it's not just because you want to go because it's Bonnaroo and it's just down the street.
Right.
It seems like the mission's sort of, and I don't think for people who are not from this area or who've never been to Bonnaroo, this is not unusual. This dovetails is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a perfect fit, not only in the fact that we're reusing old things pretty much throughout our entire organization, from the towels to the bus to how we do our work, but it also is about showing love, providing dignity, and really supporting individuals to help raise them to where they can be successful themselves, which I feel like is kind of the basis and love around Bonnaroo, is we all want to go together and kind of raise ourselves up in this weekend to kind of make it through the rest of the year. And that's basically what we do every day. But I also tell people it's great for my team because we really get to fill up our cups. We have to deal day in and day out of people telling us that we're causing homelessness and that by providing showers, we're enabling people to be homeless and all these things when you're like, I'm just trying to help.
Yeah.
And then to go to the farm and have people being like, you're doing great work. And like to hear that over and over all weekend gives you enough strength to be able to take the fight throughout the year. So it's so much more than just like going and having a good time. It really helps us do the work and have the support that we need throughout the whole year.
I know
Very
you
cool.
speak to, or earlier you name dropped some names that we're familiar with that we love and think are rock stars as well about Planet Roo, but it has really grown in the last few years. And my first time spending a lot of time there was just this past year, and it might, Barry, maybe it was all of our first time really actually zeroing in on what Planet Roo is doing. I mean, the old hand that held the globe thing. I mean, I've seen that since I was 23 years old, but I didn't know what it was. You know, it's like, hey, look how cool that is, and then move along.
Yeah.
Talk about your experience when you're on the farm at the installation at the Planet Roo, which is now just the footprint is so huge. Just quickly give a summary of how those days go and how that interaction goes, because it really was impressive to me, from the stage size to the booth size to the amount of people that were there, and hell, the amount of shade it provides.
Yeah.
If you would just talk about that quickly.
And let me piggyback on that, because this is one of the things that we sort of talk about. Did they reach out? Did Kelsey reach out to you, or did you reach out to her? You know, I'm trying to think of somebody else, if they have an organization like yours. I mean, how does this develop?
So we were originally invited through the grant process because we'd applied as a grantee. But they also send out like an RFP. I don't know exactly what they call it, but an application similar like they do to the vendors of, hey, do you want to have a booth in Planet Roo? So we apply every year to have our booth. You can say if you want to be a part of the academy and do some stuff there, if you want to be a part of the house stage. We obviously are like, as I said earlier, whatever you need, I will happily do. So we started off just coming as a booth, developing those relationships with Kelsey and Alex, and just kind of letting them know like, hey, we love what you guys do. This really means a lot to our team. However we can support the work that y'all are doing to then support the work that we're doing. Like, we want to have this unique partnership. We also had them reach out to us during the disasters that happened in Nashville. So the tornadoes and the flooding and the bombing and all of that stuff, and kind of helped reinforce that they're not just a funder for us. They are actually a partner in the work that we're doing. And I think that makes such a difference of, we know that they can depend on us. We know that we can depend on them. And so we've continued to develop that relationship, but applying at the beginning and getting just kind of that opportunity is how it all started.
And a day in the life there is is quite something to see, I would guess.
It is. So it's actually my favorite thing, because I still get up with an alarm clock at Bonnaroo. So I am up with the sun, but it is so cool walking and hearing the quiet of Bonnaroo and knowing like, wow, there's all these people here. And it's just so calm and beautiful. And then you walk in and we set up, and then we're there until 8. So we don't ever miss a headliner. We get to see kind of the influx of people throughout the day, starting with like the young families and kids that come in tie-dye and get really excited. And then as the day goes on, maybe some people, we have to remind them like, hey, you have tie-dyed, your hands are going to be stained. Like, don't freak out later in the day when you look at your hands and your hands are stained. To then like, as the headliners come in. So we get to see kind of it all. This year we were facing the fountain, so we got to see everyone get excited to see the fountain and jump in, and
some people watching right there.
Yeah. We got to sell a lot of towels to people who jumped in the fountain, and then we're like, oh, now what do I do?
That was a bad idea.
Seemed like a good idea, man.
It was a great idea for us. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then we close up for the day, and then we get to go enjoy all the headliners and kind of have fun and bond, and then kind of do it again. But one of the coolest parts is I also get to drop the supplies off for our booth Monday before anyone else is allowed on the farm. So I get to literally drive my car under the arch and go in to drive through Center Roo and see all of that. And then to leave after everything and go through the campground. So I kind of get to see the before and after of everything, which is really special.
Meredith, you get it. Like, you understand it grabbed you quickly, and you are obsessed like all the rest of us. I love it.
Cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
Very
No,
cool.
I really wish I wouldn't have been so scared to try it when I was younger, but I think I really needed to have like built-in bathrooms and all of those things to really enjoy Bonnaroo. So, but no, it has a special place in my heart, especially I'm a mom. I have two small kids. So me and my husband get to drop them off. And then we say we get to go to adult summer camp for a week and just like kind of forget we have responsibilities and just like enjoy life without anybody asking us for anything. But I am
Yeah,
still the
with
mom
your
that has
with
like
your
the
adult
whole
money
bag
too.
of stuff. Exactly. It's great.
Yeah.
It's so
I know
fun.
so many people. I know so many people that call it adult summer camp, and that tracks so perfectly. Let's talk about things that are just fun and meaningless outside of the in the moment.
Yeah.
Some of your experiences at Bonnaroo, some shows you've seen, some acts that you were overly surprised with, those kinds of things over the last couple of years, as when you get to be an attendee, you get to break away from showering the people and you get to shower the people and you get to do your own thing.
Yeah. I am one of those people who I listen to music, but I never like know who the artist is. So whenever I go to Bonnaroo, it's always so surprising to me because I'm like, I don't know any songs by this person. And I'll show up and be like, oh yeah, I know every
half of them.
song.
Mhm.
Yeah. Red Hot Chili Peppers was one of those experiences for me where I was like, I know who they are. I like the band. I knew every single song that they played and was like having so much fun just acting a fool in the crowd and like dancing and all of that kind of stuff. Also like just waiting in lines for food and becoming friends with like everyone in line. I think that kind of moments of Bonnaroo are so underrated, of those like small, when you're like all in it together and you can meet people. We know some girls that we met from like North Dakota who I've never met anybody from North Dakota before, but just like one,
That's fair.
there's
Me
a
either.
group of girls who come every year, and like they came to our booth the next year and they're like, I was like, oh, where are you guys from? They're like, North Dakota. And I'm like, I met you last year, because I've never met anybody from North Dakota. So like those like personal experiences are awesome. Going down the water slide when it's 1,000,000 degrees is like something where like, I don't know that I felt this joy in a long time as a grown up. But going to shows now, don't like, I went to Nelly because we didn't get to see him on the farm this year. I went to him here in Nashville and I was like, well, this is kind of sad. Everyone's like sitting in a chair and like, that's not what we're supposed to do. Like, it's not the same. So now I'm like ruined for musical experiences, but I think just the whole like energy that you feel in a show, whether you like the music or not, it's just so cool seeing everyone have this like shared enjoyment over something.
How does the radiate positivity that you're just sharing with us, does that carry over for the work you guys do, the other 360? I mean, you got to
imagine you need a lot of positivity, because that's you're dealing with some heavy stuff.
At the end of the day, you know, in January, are you still feeling that love? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's definitely harder to find. But that's where it's like, you have like, our bus is now bright blue with all of this Bonnaroo love on it, which helps like remember of like, oh, that's bright. It's sunshiny. It's helpful. It's not gray against the gray background of the middle of winter sky. But I try to radiate positivity kind of with whatever I do. It drives my husband nuts. I'm the one that's going to run up if I see you trying to take a group photo and be like, I got you. Let me do that for you.
Yeah.
That's just kind of who I am as a person. I think Bonnaroo just allows me to be accepted in that. Like, I'm going to do this crazy thing and I want everyone to enjoy it.
Yeah, like we said earlier, we kind of made a crack about it, was like, you know, at Bonnaroo, you can tell somebody you love them. I mean, that's what I mean. Do you get to carry that over? That's what I've always said since the first year of Bonnaroo. Is like, why can't it be like this 365 days a year?
Yeah.
That's
I think we definitely do. I know that for my team, there's sometimes where we have to kind of contain the times that we tell people that we love them, because they may not understand what that love might be, and be a little misconstrued. But we are always trying to just let people know we are there for them. We want to help them. We are there to cheerlead for them, which I think is kind of what Bonnaroo is all about. So we do try to bring that in. I'm trying to teach my kids that, like, hey, we need to focus on the positives in life. We can't do anything about the negative. So let's just like keep being positive, focus on that. Let's cheer on our friends, cheer on all these people, because ultimately it's going to make things better. So
I love it.
Well, last one for me overall. I just want to double back around on the tie-dye towels and the things you guys do in Planet Roo during the festival. And I had two lines of thought. One is that it seems like everybody at Bonnaroo shares this, wants to collect everything. If it says Bonnaroo on it or is something when I got there, then they want it. And then when you said about people getting out of the fountain, there are many times when people realize it wasn't as good an idea as I thought it was.
Right.
So the idea that you guys have all these tie-dye towels that you're selling and for money, for proceeds for what you're doing or whatever version of that. I'm not asking a question. I'm just kind of reiterating that. Go get yourself a tie-dye towel if you need if you need it.
Yeah, make a donation. That's awesome.
And certainly bring something to keepsake. And thank you for doing work like that.
of course.
Meredith, thank you so much for last second jumping on here. Certainly the timing, we appreciate that, and the good work that you do in Nashville.
Tell everybody again how they can, if they want to help, how can they find you guys, either online or at Bonnaroo? It's Shower the People. Go ahead.
Showerthepeople.net is our website. Shower the People Nashville is our Instagram handle. We will hopefully be at Planet Roo again this year, assuming that I haven't upset anybody. I think we'll be there this year. So, come find us, come tie-dye a towel, come hang out. You guys got better, come stop by the booth. I will come find you guys if not.
Definitely.
So you guys are now a part of our Bonnaroo family. So you guys will see us in our full Bonnaroo spirit when we're on the farm.
All right. Once again, we keep meeting cool people that are related to this cool event that we love so much, right? I don't know how else to say it. It's just amazing to me.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and shout out to, I can't remember right away who it is, somebody on our Discord referred us to Meredith and said,
Jimmy.
Okay, yeah. So thank you for that. And, once again, if you are on the Discord, reach out if you've got an idea for somebody on the show that we haven't talked to yet.
We are all ears.
All ears.
Bring it.
You two, I don't know if you guys remember, but we actually met Jimmy at our event there in Planet Roo. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So again, Russ, you and I talked about it. We ran into so many people at Shaky Knees in Atlanta last week that came up and said hello. Can't thank you guys enough. Please keep doing it. Come up and say hello. It means the world to me anyway. And I know that Bryan and Russ feel the same way.
It is fun. Normally in life, I want to be left alone at all times. In those settings, I'm good with it.
Yeah, we're pulling you out of your shell, kicking and screaming, but we're doing it. All right, another great show. Don't know what we're doing next week. We've got a couple of things lined up that I'm excited about. Especially in a couple of weeks, we're gonna get outside of our shell a little bit, and I'll talk about that more later. So, all right, thanks guys for listening. Peace and keep radiating positivity.